Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. My name is Rabenschild. This thing is very, very impractical. I rescued it the last time. I tried to work more on it and rewatched Splitsy's video about the whole thing. I saw that my wheels were attached very differently, and now I removed them completely and I'm using thrusters, but that doesn't help. This thing in the back here sometimes just plonks and then wheels are gone. It's sitting in the blocks, so there's a lot of clang going on, and I'm pretty sure it has to do with all the hinges. And it might be also a lot of the pistons, because let me explain this. You see that this is not attached anymore, and I don't know why, because it said no, I will not be attached to this anymore. It didn't shatter or anything. It just dropped off its own blocks and just yeah, was like this at one point. So the cool thing is that now that all the pistons are not involved anymore, I don't know, it feels stabler. One thing that I noticed was that when I touch the whole thing, it suddenly goes bonkers. And I had wheels as buffers here, and they also were not, the whole thing was also not very appreciative of that. So we could have options now. I could go the Splitsy route and do the whole chain on a wheel, and then, or not on a wheel, on something, and then bring it up and down with a rotor. Or we could completely get rid of this part, use maybe an advanced rotor, attach a big head if that's possible, and then use the large twin welders. They have a higher reach. Or have a piston on here or something like that. I don't know, the whole experiment is kind of really out of whack, because again, this is not stable. I don't know how Splitsy does it, but Splitsy just has one of these chains and then isn't doing that anymore. Maybe that helps him there, because again, for me it definitely doesn't. I will remove the pistons. That's the first thing we do, definitely. We just get rid of this part, and we get rid of this part, so that at least we are not having to deal with that anymore. Again, I have the feeling that it just adds to the whole clang confusion that's going on, because again, it said nope, I will not deal with this. I'm very confused about this. So, and then we will try the Splitsy method. Again, people can scream and say that I'm just stealing his stuff, but again, that is completely okay. I want to get something going here. It's mainly because of that I keep trying this. The thing right now is that it really isn't stable. You can see that it wobbles around here. I'm absolutely not sure about this. So then we remove this middle configuration and first try the whole wheel thing, where we basically attach it on one of these blocks and then just roll it up with a rotor, if that helps. And again, I absolutely don't know. It could be that this is far more dangerous than it should be, but we will see. Okay, let me get some blocks in here. If it explodes like it exploded the last time, then I will definitely stop working with this, because I'm pouring a lot of work in this for something that maybe, what was that, sunken cost fallacy or something like this. At one point you just, I don't know if that's the same, but at one point you just have to stop before you throw more things into it. Oh, the reverse striked, by the way, or struck. The reverse struck. The mining machine got hit. There was nothing I could do about this, and the machine itself didn't have enough enough firepower to deal with that. A reaver crashed hard into the whole thing and pretty much destroyed it. And the saddest part, it destroyed the main thing of the mining machine, the mining thing itself. I will have to repair it, or I don't know, remove it. There's too many grids on Mars now. In my last live stream, I was not able to do blueprints anymore, and I wanted to blueprint some of the trucks and get rid of them. And man, I don't really know what it was. In the end, I basically had to turn off the Steam Cloud. I don't know if I can put any more blueprints on the workshop or something like that. I'm very, very confused about this. So we will put some batteries on here, although they might not be needed. But I want to be able to keep this thing powered. If it I'll just drop the chain and then it hopefully gets removed. Ooh. It shouldn't do that now. Now it's slowly dropping. One thing that might be problematic with the whole chain could be, and maybe I try that. I didn't set any of the torques and all that stuff. I hope that having 0 braking torque, that this would be enough to hopefully, don't know, keep the whole thing very, very loose. People said that this is a great idea, the whole keeping the slag out of the chain, but again, I have a lot of issues with this thing trailing behind, and helping to further explosions. I don't know why this idea got me so hard. It's just something that I saw that I really need to follow for a moment. Okay, you I'm a bit paranoid about the conveyor blocks. I will put something around it so that if it detaches, then hopefully it doesn't completely destroy itself there. But again, the whole chain thing was so weird that it just snapped right off. Why are you not... Why are you not vanishing? Yeah, we will paint it. I will not reuse that. We will just build a new chain to test that out. The test will be without the welders for now, so that I maybe can... Okay, that I maybe can... okay. So let us take a look. I need to take a look. How wide is the advanced rotor? I think that thing is 3 blocks? Could you give me, so 3 blocks, 2 blocks, no, it's 2 blocks. So if we go and we put the, I want to go a bit off center. 1, 2, 3, 7, 10, 12. We will go a bit off center and then no. So that if we winch up the chain, we don't run into any problems with the whole thing borking. Oh. How do I do that best? I need to bring it down 2 blocks. So let us do this. And then this. That could very much unbalance the whole thing, but I'm not too sure. Maybe it doesn't really matter, and I can only hope that Clang doesn't get to this thing too fast. 0. We will have 0 up top. Why are you not? Good. And then set up another conveyor, bring that down. We attach the whole thing then and there. And now I need to do this. But it seems that the wheels... by the way, Splitsy said something about this and said that he had... Oh no. Okay, I will have to... Ugh. We'll have to come in from here. That's too bad. I messed this up. I didn't mess it up. I wanted to have it a straight conveyor line, and now it would have been better to have that on the side. I could go and push out something back and then around, so to not disturb the chain. We will see when the chain is attached. We will go and test out how bad it is. Let us go for hinges. again, and I will try to make this really quick. Let me make this really quick, and then I will be back with you. So let's say that's where it works. That's a good thing. So it if it doesn't completely borg out now, I'm pretty happy with this. But again, this definitely isn't perfect. I need to rotor lock this. And it still turns. Why does it still turn? Oh, the rotor lock takes a moment to hold. Okay, I can deal with that. So bring it down. Stop it. That works definitely a lot better than the pistons. It doesn't seem to be too wobbly, but why are you still... the braking force. I need to bring up the braking force. Okay. Weld. The whole chain is now called weld, and I kind of overdid the whole keeping a distance, because let's say it that way, that wouldn't have been necessary. But that's a good thing, so I can route the whole thing then through the front. Splitsy had to use a lot longer chain because he has drills on the end and wants to definitely dig a bit deeper. So what I need to do now is, and that's something I want to test now, is weld. We need to up the speed. We go to 4, see if that is viable. And now we just go back. One thing I want to test is if... Hello? Okay, the rotor lock doesn't hold at all. So then I need to maybe do the whole keeping it in place by turning it on and off maybe. Okay, that seems to be far more effective than the rotor lock. When the rotor lock engages, everything's fine, but it needs a while to engage, and I don't know why. Okay, it doesn't really matter. So one thing I need to do is we need to have a bar of welders down here, at least a few, and then I want to test something with some sensors, because what I always wanted to test is how these pistons work that go up and down while they are welding, and it must have to do something with some sensors that detect small grids or something like that. And we need to... Okay, so the question is setup actions. No. We just have an extend, so Detect large, detect stations. We need to keep this all off. Detect subgrids. Detect owner. Detect enemy. So the question would be, to what would we set that? Detect station needs to be off. Detect large ship, so detect a small ship. And now the problem would be that I think you can't move the detection area too much, so we can have a bottom extent of really basically nothing, so that it hopefully doesn't detect itself. Top extent of a meter or something like that. Let me show the whole infos on this. Sensor field range, yes. Okay. And then we right extent, left extent is good for now. And the back extent can be really small too. Front extent, I would go to 2 meters and take a look. I need it to be beneath the welder, but just a tiny bit. So okay, and then 3 meters, 3.5 or 3.5. Just so that it is a bit more. Just so that it is just barely hovering over that. So it should be behind the whole thing, but we will test that out. We will test it out. No, what am I doing? Okay, sensor, thanks. We will go to a front extent of 30 centimeters. Is that possible? That seems to be possible. So now we need something that the thing can detect. I will use this thing that hopefully gets thrown aside if it is in the way. So let us bring that into the welder pit. So I want basically the chain to go up when there is something in the way, and if there's nothing in the way, I want the chain to I want the chain extended, but when there's something in the way, I want it to pull back. And if there is nothing in the way, it needs to go down to extend the reach. Not that it is really necessary. The twin welders have, I don't know, a reach of 3 large blocks, even the small ones. So doesn't really matter. And the whole thing is rather dangerous because we do it from this crazy wobbly platform. So bring the whole thing back into an area where this thing is not. Bring it a bit forward. Then we move the whole thing in range. So if you are not detecting anything, okay, set up the actions. We will set up an action, and it has to do with this thing reversing when it detects something, and if that thing leaves the detect, oh, why? Setup actions. I'm not getting. Okay, let's see. We will turn this and this thing on. No, the other way around, please. And we will do the reasonable thing, I say. Hee. So let's see what happens when we get into sensor range. The whole thing detects and goes up, and it goes down once it leaves sensor range. Okay, now it... that thing works hard. Okay, that is not how that works. How do these... is it a timer setup? The problem with the timer setup is, and we can't do that with a rotor. I think Splitsy had a word about this too. Or not Splitsy? I don't know. Someone recently had a word about this. That I think it was Splitsy. That rotors don't have so a piston has a setup. Let me find a piston where you can go and just say piston. I need just this. Where you can just say is it just in the... Let me find them in the menu. Ugh, I'm... G, a piston. Find a piston, please. The piston has extend retract as something that you can set up. And a rotor doesn't have that. So you cannot say clockwise, counterclockwise. That would make the whole thing easy. So that doesn't work. So if I want to have this weird thing where it retracts when it comes into range and where it extends when it goes out of range, I might have to use a piston for that. That is so dumb. That is so dumb. Should we go with a piston? I would like to at least test it. I'd like to at least test if a piston would be possible. We could go with a large, or with a let me test this. Good. I will be back in a second for you. Okay, the whole thing is already just spasming again. I will not deal with this anymore. Whoa, that was explosive deconstruction, I say. It is just too finicky. Again, if I maybe with just a piston chain or something like that, then this would work, or it works. We saw that. The thing here is that I think I want too much of it. Too much. I have, again, parts flying around everywhere again. That thing flew. That thing flew a lot. Ugh. The idea here was for me to make something, yeah, like an industrial welder. And again, there's a lot easier ways to do this in large grid. So in using just normal large grid welders and all that stuff would do an amazing trick here. So I think I wanted to have it. I think I wanted too much of it, and having so many subgrids sitting there just grinding against each other is not a good plan. I hope that for Splitsy everything goes well with his contraption, but Splitsy is a lot more knowledgeable when it comes to stuff like that. He can explain why this rubs, and I have to mainly just make tests over tests over tests and see what sticks in the end. And it is just not a project that I need to continue. So next plan is go back into space. The reavers down here are just too dangerous for my taste. Ugh, this thing got damage too. I will. Yeah, we will see if I repair it. The next step would be, I don't know. We need the next step. I need to go and maybe throw a dart at the target and then see where we go next. I will maybe just roll dice there and then see where we go next. Okay, let me clean this up for a second, and then we take the ships and go back to space. I have cleaned up down there, so removed the damage and all that stuff. The thing is, I can't remove the damage on the planet. Ugh, if I ever start a new world, I think definitely go with the no voxel damage approach. Even if I can't dig then, but at least I am able to keep the planet looking nice. Ugh. We will go back to space. I will end the episode here because again, it's a bit of a rage quit because again, I'm so sad that this dang thing didn't work. But I have a plan for the next time. The big ship needs fuel. Not a lot, but it definitely needs fuel, and that's something we need to provide. And where better to provide that than there? We never were to one of the moons, really. So let us take a look at the moons. We will start here and grab some ice. Start grabbing ice from there. And then we can decide how we do it. Maybe a space elevator or a space umbilical. Not an elevator, but something that... Maybe something going up really high and then just where the ship can dock and can refuel and all that stuff. That would be nice. And maybe we test out the surface drills then, or something like that. We will see. People, I say that's all for today. Hope you like this episode anyways. A bit of experimenting and blowing things up again. Good people. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next one. See you guys.